Good morning. We are between you and lunch, so bear with us. First of all, thank you for the honor of being on the stage again. Thank you, Gal and his team. And it's really an honor for IAI to be on the same session with Boeing, Airbus, Textron, and our friends from Gulfstream. So, and by the way, we're honored to have Shmuel Kuzi, our Senior Vice President, the head of the aviation group with us. So thank you, Kuzi, for coming. So I'm going to take you through a short journey of the development, certification, and production of business jets at IAI. This is the torch that we are carrying through the years. You can see here the Arava in the 70s, the Kfir, the fighter, the West Wind, which started the real business jets, the Astra, which became the G100, the Lavi, the famous Lavi fighter, unfortunately canceled, the Galaxy G200, the G150, which was the first program that we made together with Gulfstream, and now the G280, and the future is ahead of us. So, a few notes about our line of business jets. So we have the G150, which was co-developed with Gulfstream. By the way, I think it's the first time in history of aircraft development that one OEM chooses another OEM to develop, produce, certify, and deliver full aircraft. So the G150 was the first one. The G200 already existed, and the G280, which I'm going to talk a little bit about it, is the next one. By the way, the G200 created the super mid-size niche. It was followed by the Challenger, the 300, and so on. So now it's a proud thing for us. So the G100, you have here the numbers. We produced 150 aircraft of that type. You have down here and the others, the most important parameter for business aviation is the dispatch reliability. It holds 91.63%, and the G150, 99.82. We delivered also close to 150 airplanes. The G200, as I said, the super mid-size, still holds a very high dispatch reliability, 99.88. Criteria of that is 1 or 0 if you have a delay of more than 30 minutes, and this is an NBAA standard. And the G280, our baby, which is in production now, 99.8 dispatch reliability, is the best in class according to external sources. And now let's see how we made it. So first of all, I'm using my experience as an engineer, and now I'm in production, but the whole idea is that we are really practicing a computerized development and manufacturing method. That means that when the engineers are sitting in an IPT environment, integrated product team, everybody is using the same database. So we work in parallel. You can see here a snapshot from the CFD of aerodynamics to structural finite element analysis through all the disciplines until the final production. That's the way to do it in a short way, and that's how we do all our last programs. So what it gives, okay, first of all, I want to mention that our engineering development center has all the disciplines to create a sheet clean design of all platforms, including, by the way, UAVs. So they do it for all of IAI applications, and including also some integrated facilities, wind tunnel center, ground test center, flight test center, simulators, antenna and radome test ranges with a variety of applications which we will not talk about today, and system integration labs. And it all comes together to a process which is led by the engineers, and all this certification process from preliminary design all the way to certification, and I'm talking FAR 25 certification, which is the same like for the big guys. Now a short illustration of how it's done. We call it from digital to reality. So this is the digital mock-up. No more physical mock-ups, of course. Structure, systems, wiring, tubing, avionics, everything is coming to the cockpit and creates the real reality. A look from outside, and this is how it's done. So precise design, accurate manufacturing, and it becomes a Lego process, no trimming, no shimming, as the slogan says, and that's how we do it. Now, after we have the aircraft, we get to flight test, my favorite. Okay, so this is a snapshot, a few scenes of the G280 certification flight test. This is the first flight, and we took the aircraft to almost most of the envelope, including landing gear operation, which is quite unique for first flight. Nowadays it's more common. Telemetry room, we took the practices that we had from the fighters, that you don't have room on the aircraft, makes it more efficient. This is some icing testing that we did abroad in the States. You see the remaining of the ice. It's a full campaign of what is called FICI, flight into non-icing condition, passed successfully. And you see here now, wet runway landing. We did it in England in a special runway where you have the water measured by the FAA criteria. You see here the water on the runway, and the aircraft landed on water, and to make sure that there's no damage, no ingestion of water to the engines, which is not above the certification requirement. And this was also done successfully. We'll see it from the side view as well. This is from the cockpit, of course. This is how it looks from the runway. This is the second prototype. By the way, we do all our flight test campaigns typically with 2 instrumented prototypes only. This is, by the way, a stall recovery chute only for flight test, because we did on the G280 for the first time the T-tail configuration, which is sensitive to deep stall. And we had this as a backup in case of emergency. We never used it in flight, but we prepared it just in case. This is a crosswind certification, also in Europe. You see the nose into the wind, landing in a decreb procedure, and we demonstrated the crosswind capability of the aircraft. By the way, G250, G280 is the same aircraft. I can tell you the story at the break. Okay, now, after that, we move to production, which I'm proud to close the cycle now and be the manager of the production line. I think we are the only facility, I would say, in the Middle East that makes serial production and producing lots of airplanes per year. Even today, we never stop the production, even during the COVID years, and it is kicking and running, and that's our hangar, which shows the production line in a fast-forward mode. We have a full array of support around us, logistics, subcontractors in Israel and all over the world, to give us all the supply chain that we need, which is a different story today, but we managed to do it and to deliver by our test pilots, certified with the green COFA certificate of the CAI, and my colleague next will give you a more in-depth speech about the certification. So this is how we do it. Now, in addition, I will just give you some examples, and there are more, about aircraft modifications to become mission platforms. This is from the far years. You see a Westwind SAR radar installation, and in the front, in the upper corner, you see the maritime. We had 3 airplanes like that from the Westwind were operating under the Israeli Navy. So these days, by the way, this is another example of target towing. I can say that now all the mission customers, and my friends from Gulfstream mentioned that there are many Gulfstream platforms that are doing that. The avionics is getting smaller and smaller, and the mid-size aircraft are more and more suitable for that. And we see that there is a requirement for an STC as a standard for all those applications today. So we're doing that as well. So I would like to finish my presentation with a beautiful video, courtesy of Gulfstream, of our aircraft. Thank you very much.